This is John Paul. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, and this story's getting all around the web. It's about how Amber Heard could potentially make $33,000 giving a speech about domestic violence. Now, I follow the Daily Wire, and I think my opinions line up with theirs pretty well on most things. So I was really glad that they covered Amber Heard, and it's the first time I've seen them pitch in. Now, Ben Shapiro is the editor-in-chief, and he's the owner of the Daily Wire, but this is not written by him. However, I watch Ben quite a bit, and I've got a really strong feeling he agrees with this article here. So, with that in mind, let's take a look. For $33,000, you can hire Amber Heard, who admitted on tape to abusing Johnny Depp, to talk about domestic violence. So right away, you guys could tell that they're on the same page as us with this. In perhaps the biggest waste of speaker fees since hiring a white woman to talk about racism, you can now shell out $33,000 to hear Amber Heard, who admitted on tape to beating Johnny Depp, to talk to you about surviving domestic violence. So right away, they start the article by saying, look, she admitted she hit him, so we think she's the guilty one. And by the way, Ben Shapiro's got 2.5 million followers on his personal channel, and the Daily Wire, I think, is now around the same 2.5 million viewers, plus whatever their text media, their articles bring in. So they have a pretty large platform to be saying this stuff about Amber Heard, and they're also exposing her to a political audience who doesn't necessarily follow the details of this case. So that's really good too. And no, she's not talking about Depp surviving her domestic violence. She's still claiming to be a victim, bolstered by Depp's recent court loss in London. Depp had sued Heard and British tabloid The Sun over depictions of him as a wife-beater. As the Daily Wire previously reported, Depp faced an uphill battle since he had to prove he didn't hit her. Proving a negative is nearly impossible, and Depp was only able to prove he didn't attack Heard in 2 of the situations she claimed, but that apparently wasn't enough to cast doubt on the rest of her claims. Okay, so maybe the way they set up the court case is they pulled a trick, which I haven't quite thought of from this angle. Like the person points out here, it's very hard to prove a negative. They say nearly impossible. I guess in some cases possible, but the point is very difficult. So that's kind of unfair. Then I guess, Amber Heard on the other hand can't prove that Johnny supposedly hit her. So that's a good thing that the Virginia case jury and judge and lawyers should keep in mind. During the trial, evidence surfaced showing proof that Heard abused Depp. Depp's attorneys presented audio of Heard admitting to hitting the Pirates of the Caribbean actor. "I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you, babe. You're not punched." Sounds drunk. You're not punched. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm no grammar expert, but that sounds pretty stupid to me. Okay. Heard tells Depp in the recording, "I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. Just hitting you." The attorneys also provided evidence that Heard would stage alleged attacks, randomly yelling, "Stop hitting me, Johnny," when witnesses saw no such abuse. A concierge at a couple's penthouse also testified that surveillance footage showed Heard's sister pretending to punch her. So she practiced this being victimized. She practiced being punched. She practiced yelling out, "Johnny, don't hit me." That sounds pretty sick to me, man. I didn't quite remember that detail there, and I'm not sure if I knew that, because there's a few things I've been finding out this week that I didn't realize about Amber Heard. One of the testimonies comes from Trinity Esperanza, who was one of the concierge at the penthouse where Heard claims Depp hit her in the face. Esperanza now questions how Heard received the mark on her face she claimed was from Depp after reviewing surveillance footage from 3 days later when Heard's sister Whitney pretended to punch her in the face, according to court documents the Daily Wire previously reported, which I missed. So I guess they have reported on this before, and that's good, because they are obviously pretty leaning towards Johnny here. I've actually never heard them say anything positive about Amber. Further evidence suggested Heard attacked Depp while the actor was in bed and staged the attack she claimed he committed. Sounds about right. Unaware that members of Mr. Depp's security team, including an 18-year veteran of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, were mere feet away, Miss Heard falsely began yelling, "Stop hitting me, Johnny," Depp alleged in court documents. The interaction culminated with Miss Heard making false allegations that Mr. Depp struck her with a cell phone, hit her, and destroyed the penthouse. There were multiple eyewitnesses to this hoax. And even if he did destroy the penthouse, quote unquote, that's perfectly fine and perfectly legal. We've been here before. People smash shit. So, not even worth saying. And they mentioned Winona Ryder. I don't have this full article. It was actually pretty long, so I cut out the relevant parts, but it was all positive towards Johnny. They didn't even question him whatsoever. It's basically all against Amber. And they review for their followers, their subscribers, whoever might not know about Winona Ryder's statement, which I'm sure you guys know pretty well by now. But for completion, let's go through it real quick. I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so wildly different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations Ryder wrote in court documents. The evidence in this case didn't matter. Depp is being treated like an abuser when it is clear he was the victim, and his abuser, who admitted to such on tape, is being treated like a hero because she's a woman. But hey, if you want to burn 33 grand, have at it. So they correct themselves. They actually thought that he was married to Vanessa Paradis, and I did too, because I think it's a common mistake. So I feel a little better about making my mistake about that. Anyway, as you could see, especially from this last thing they say right here, clearly they are on Johnny's side as much as most of us are on Johnny's side. So the Daily Wire here, when it comes to this case, I think, for me, is the largest media outlet I've seen. Like I said, 5 million subscribers combined on YouTube, plus whatever their articles have, and I'm going to assume it's probably at least 1 million, very, very strongly suggest that Amber is the abuser. So for you guys, maybe, who are coming around here and questioning why I like Ben Shapiro, why I'm with him on most issues, it's because this is how they think. This is how he thinks. Logically. What makes sense, what's fair. That's my opinion on him, and this only makes my opinion on him stronger. If you disagree, that's cool too. He's got a little bit of a nasally voice, he talks fast. If you don't like his personality, whatever, that's cool, but for the most part, I agree with things he says and does. Anyway, if you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Having a busy week, throwing up some slideshows, and if you're not subscribed here, and you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.